President Tsai. An academic freely elected by a small island of brave people has become one of the world's shining lights in the midst of the horrible pandemic. President Tsai Ing-wen unified her people under her leadership, winning 57.13% of the vote. Almost 8 million people, out of the record-breaking 74.9% of the Taiwanese electorate who participated in the January 11, 2020 elections. She was valiantly expressed solidarity with the Hong Kong protesters and resisted China's attempts at forcing a unification agreement on Taiwan, but also a lot more. She led the visionary efforts that implemented scientific and medical controls that have turned Taiwan into a global powerhouse in the struggle against the COVID-19 pandemic. And she also led international public opinion in denouncing the manipulation of the World Health Organization by the People's Republic of China. But even before the outbreak, she was already being recognized for her strong leadership.
Well, in looking for the most important people heading into 2020, we were looking for people that had the highest possibility of impact on geopolitics, the people poised to change history as much as possible. And it looked like she was going to be decisively reelected, and she was. And her election was really a historical turning point in Taiwan because for some years, the Taiwanese elected public officials who were comfortable coexisting with the Communist Party, who were comfortable with making money in part because there's a lot of business dealings between China and Taiwan, and sort of accepting that the Chinese refused to see their position as a sovereign state, a free and democratic state. Whereas when they elected Tsai, it was the voice of the people was saying that we were no longer comfortable with a communist state that was constantly threatening us, constantly trying to colonize us, and blocking our self-determination on the global stage.
An attorney with a degree from the prestigious London School of Economics, President Tsai has accomplished many firsts. Among them, she is the first woman president of the Republic of China on Taiwan, and the first president to be both Hakka and Aboriginal descent. She has led her country in establishing new energy alternatives so as to make Taiwan energy independent. Has led efforts to improve and increase Taiwan's defense, and established a new southbound policy making Taiwan less dependent on trade with China by engaging with new political and economic partners. Her leadership was also essential for the unanimous passage of the Taipei Act by the U.S. Congress, which stipulates greater aid by the United States for those countries which establish or upgrade their relationship with Taiwan.
Over the past 3 decades, Taiwan, the Republic of China, has demonstrated its commitment to democracy, multi-party elections, freedom of speech, freedom of assembly and association. At the same time, they've also demonstrated their international solidarity to the cause of freedom around the world, most recently in places like Tibet and Hong Kong, who both have suffered the repression of mainland China. In addition to that, Taiwan has also provided refuge status to victims of repression from Hong Kong. And finally, in December of 2019, Taiwan warned the international community through the World Health Organization of the threat of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, otherwise known as the Wuhan virus, that causes the COVID-19 illness. They knew in late December that something was wrong. They had people in isolation. They warned the World Health Organization that disregarded their warnings, but others did not, and they're doing much better today in the international environment with this pandemic.
Freedom is not free, and the freedom of all people anywhere is linked to that of the people everywhere. With her leadership and her people's example, President Tsai is leading the birth of a new community of democracies in the world. The greatness of this country lies in how every single person can exercise their right to be himself or herself.